you've made so many crime movies. I'm curious what draws you to telling crime stories. Is it like crime first or like protagonist?
Oh, it's just stories. It's, you want there to be stakes. You want there to be, life or death stakes, or at least a lot of money or something. Some people are entertained by people sitting there talking about their feelings, and even I am occasionally, but it doesn't really do it for me. So, crime.
Well, you co-wrote this with Trisha Cook, and I'm curious, like, between that and Drive Away Dolls, what is that process like for you guys?
Writing process?
I mean, writing it and, getting it into production and the whole thing.
Actually, I don't even know why I asked, because it's kind of the same in all respects to how I worked with my brother. It's just very totally collaborative. I mean, we have separate titles, but they're kind of artificial. We write the movie together, sit in a room together, talk a scene, whatever it is, back and forth, cast the movies together, make the movies together, cut them together. I could not sort out who does what, because we were both just there making the movie.
I love that. Well, Margaret has said about making these films that when she shows up, you guys have everything storyboarded and you have such a vision that it feels almost like the movie is, like, in a sense, edited, is how she put it. Is that how you feel about them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, to an extent, although to an extent it's always frustrating and surprising when you actually get to the editing room and you go, oh, God, who shot this shit? But, even in writing, we're thinking about, well, we make movies, again, even the differentiation between different functions, is a little artificial. When we're sitting there writing, we go, okay, the scene, this person does that, this happens, that happens. That's the end of the scene. What's the good cut? What do we want to cut to next? What's the good cut? What kind of sends you, what gets us into the next scene? So, even in that respect, we're kind of cutting the movie as we're writing it. It's all just, like I said, making the movie. And we both have, we both do that. We both Trish exclusively as an editor for many years, and me on mine and Joel's movies. We cut them together, sometimes with Trish. So yeah, we kind of know. We think about movies in those terms. Yes, coverage and what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. Not always right, but that's how we think about it.
Well, that's so incredible to have a shorthand with not just one filmmaker, but two, where you're able to collaborate that, like, fluidly. But then how do you bring other people into it when you're bringing the actors in? You guys have such a clear vision. How are you like, okay, now this is what it's going to look like?
Oh, it's, I think it's clear. Well, it's clear to good actors from the script. They go, okay, they read it and they just kind of get it. They go, okay, I can see, I can do something with this character. It's kind of self-selecting. If they're real, if they really see something in it, they think they can chop some wood with, okay, great, they understand it. And they also understand, the good ones, and we work with great actors, we only work with really good ones. They understand, their place in the thing. We haven't had a problem with egotists or people who think the story is about them, except to the extent that it really is, that, they have a place in the movie. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird answer, but it's just, we
You
work
make
with
it sound
good
so
people.
easy. You're like, just get good actors.
Yeah.
Respectfully, I've seen a lot of movies with good actors that are not good. But you figured it out. It works for you. I'm very happy about that. But that's like, you're just like, oh, just find good actors. Look at it.
I was going to argue
I feel like
with
you're
you.
undercutting yourself.
I was going to argue with you, but you're right. Sometimes I see somebody we worked with in another movie and I go, what the?
I'm not going to ask you to say which ones. But I do want to know, because I have this myself, where like someone will show you something, they're like, hey, what'd you think? And when you think it's terrible, do you lie, or do you have like you did a show answer?
Oh, you're talking about going to other people's movies?
Yeah, and it's bad, but you're like friends.
You know, the way to not have to deal with that awkwardness is to only have friends who are really good at it.
This is not relatable advice either.
No, it's actually kind of true.
I'm like very happy for you, but that doesn't help me.
I just saw Tim Blake Nelson, the actor and director, is a friend of mine, and just a couple of days ago I saw a cut of this movie. It's just finished, and it was great. I don't know why I mentioned it. It's just the last time I was in that situation. It was only a couple of days ago. I have not really been in an awkward situation where I've seen a horrible movie and the director was there and asked for notes. It hasn't happened.
I'm a film critic. No one asks me for notes, but it's been awkward occasionally. So I want to talk a bit about Margaret, because she plays such a different role in Drive Away Dolls than she does here. So I'm curious for you and Trisha, when was it like, oh, she's our honey?
We had actually written both scripts, Drive Away Dykes and the script for this, quite a while ago, before we made Drive Away Dykes. So when we met Margaret for that, the earlier movie, we kind of recognized, even then, we talked about it as soon as she left the room, oh, she'd be good for this one, but she'd also be great for the next one. We didn't share that thought with her at the time, because who knew whether we'd be able to make the next one. But we just had rapport with her, but also, there's something, I don't know. I mean, talk about understanding a script and knowing how you fit in, and this is another factor in casting. It's frankly who you want to hang out with, and that's a consideration.
You make this sound so easy. I do want to point out, because some of you might be like, Drive Away Dykes, I thought it was called Drive Away Dolls. Why do you call it Drive Away Dykes versus why is the official title Drive Away Dolls?
I call it Drive Away Dykes because that is the real fucking title.
Like friends.
Me and Trish only wrote it because Trish came up with this title, Drive Away Dykes, and we both thought, oh, that's a good name for an exploitation movie. We gotta write that and make that just so that a movie will come out that's named Drive Away Dykes. And then we made the movie and it couldn't be released under that. Ain't it just the way though?
Yeah, you said before it's the MPAA, and it was like, no.
Yeah, I didn't realize, but the MPAA, the body that rates movies, gives them the ratings, also passes on, I don't know what you call it, sanctions titles. They also pass on review your advertising materials, and I've actually had a couple of conversations about with the woman who runs that over the years. Some things you're not allowed to show, and I had no idea that the MPAA passed on this stuff. The one was actually very reasonable. They were interesting conversations, and once we kind of got our way, and once we did not. For poster art, ad art.
Well, speaking to some of the racier elements of this film, I think Chris Evans is so fun in this. And maybe not the first person who would come to mind when you're thinking of like a creepy preacher type. But tell me how Lobby Hero came into like your consideration.
I'd seen Lobby Hero, the revival of it here in New York, which Chris was in. He was great. What other stuff did I see? I saw the first Captain America.
Knives Out?
I've seen Knives Out where he's an asshole, yes.
He's a great asshole.
Yeah.
Like, respectfully, top notch.
Yeah, that's what I mean about good actors. There isn't a lot of, as you can see from Chris's performance, there's no vanity. It's not like he wants to look like Mr. Charm.
When he says we in the sex scene, I can't. It's like the first reveal where instead of like Jesus flanking him at the altar, it's just more pictures of that pastor, and then him saying we in the sex scene. I was like, I know completely who this man is. Is it fun to create a fictional cult?
I enjoyed the sermon. It was fun to cover, and it was just fun as an audience member watching Chris perform. Yeah, I think Chris was digging the whole cult thing.
Should we be concerned? I feel like he would definitely be a cult leader. Like, I feel like if Chris Evans started telling people to do things, they'd be like, yeah, okay.
Especially if he's wearing the jockstrap.
Tell me about the jockstrap. That's a specific choice.
Oh, we wrote the jockstrap in. That was very funny. Oh God, we gotta put this guy in a jockstrap. And then we asked Chris to do it. We go, oh my God, we gotta have Captain America in a jockstrap.
America's ass in a jockstrap. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Was this just me? Thank you. There we go. I know I'm not the only one that appreciates cinema.
Yeah, I mean, you laugh, but to me, yeah, that's movies.
Right.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I like a detail. Well, part of what I enjoy so much about Honey is that she feels like these kind of hard-boiled detectives we've seen before, but with the flip where like she's the femme fatale. You know what I mean? Was that like a part of the excitement of creating the character for you? Is like referring to these kind of classic tropes?
Oh yeah, definitely. We recruited Margaret when we knew we would be making this movie. We asked her if she wanted to play Bogey, and she said, "Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't, man or woman?"
That's a great pitch.
But it was. We also talked about, this is what's kind of relates to what you're saying. She's also kind of Lauren Bacall. The voice is very much kind of. It's not Margaret's voice. I mean, her natural voice. There's something very, femme fatale about she's Sam Spade and Mary Astor.
I said Bogey as Bacall. I love that.
Yeah.
Of course she said yes. I mean, also obviously she's been very open about how much she enjoys working with you two as a couple.
Oh, likewise. I mean, we signed the lifetime employment agreement.
So I know that this is kind of framed as a trilogy. Is she going to be in Go Beavers?
I don't know. Go Beavers at this point is more of it's another lesbian movie. It's more of a thought experiment at this point than a movie. So who knows?
Fair enough. Well, she also has kind of a hidden role within the movie and the soundtrack. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. The music is produced, the original songs, or the new songs are produced by Jack Antonoff, music producer who's married to Margaret. And we ran out of money, so we had Margaret sing a couple of them. She's really good. It's kind of a half joking, she's great. Jack wondered if it was breaking a movie law to have, an actor in the movie, a character in the movie singing songs in the movie, and we kind of thought about it, and then I don't know. She's good and she's cheap.
It was amazing.
Yeah, she's great, right?
I was wondering if that was her.
Yeah.
Somebody here caught it. There's another. You mentioned another movie law you broke in this before, and I'm curious if anybody caught it. Do you want to set it up?
Oh, I know. Yes, the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is me and Joel did that once too, and as well in Hail Caesar. Yeah, we had an actor play two parts just because we liked the actor and we could get away with it. In this is nobody.
Does anybody recognize it? Did anybody catch the one actor plays two parts?
Yeah, you wouldn't know. They're both small parts. I just like hanging out with this guy, Michael Kummer. He when Margaret goes down the sort of Evans cage and is looking for Aubrey, and the guy shows up. Hello, may I help you? And it's not Aubrey. It's that guy who's also the bus driver who says.
So in your mind, is it two different characters, or is it just a guy who's working in the gig economy?
We did talk about maybe the guy's moonlighting. Yeah.
Rough out there.
He grew a mustache and.
And I know I've kind of teased about this before, but I love sharing this, and I think it's like watching it. I was so into her. Obviously, I'm channeling a little bit. If you can't tell, this is a cheetah print. Trying something. But I've said this to you before, but she's got a short bob, a little blunt bob. She's got a great sense of style. She's a killer that gets away with it. What is her tie to Anton Chigurh?
You're talking about the character, Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men. And yes, when you said that to me, it blew my mind because I'd never made that connection. But it's so valid, man. We should have asked Javier to do this in drag.
There's always go beavers.
No, it's like sometimes stuff repeats itself and you go, okay, I'm getting older and, it's just failure of imagination.
I like it. I think it's a fun way to kind of play with the trope, but it's like that Bob, I was like, where have I seen this? I've never seen this. I'm a haircut person. I have a lot of thoughts. So why?
We were shooting Fargo. This movie. There's a scene where Peter Stormare and Steve Buscemi get pulled over by a cop, and Peter shoots the cop, and they're on this road, and they're dealing with the body, and it's a deserted road, but there's an oncoming car. And I thought, wait a minute, I think we were here 15 years ago. In our first movie, Blood Simple, we had a guy dealing with a body, and there's an oncoming car, and it's late at night, and I thought, God, we're just terrible.
So self-reference like frustrates you.
Oh yeah, it's never intentional. I mean, to the extent that their movies resemble each other, or even in non-specific ways, it's not what you wanted. It's in spite of your efforts. You can't get away from yourself. As a friend of mine just said, if you're an asshole and you go to Paris, you're just an asshole in Paris.
That's relatable life advice. That I'll take with me. But that's interesting. So like, when you watch your own stuff, are you ever like, kind of panicking of like, oh, we did that before? Is that a concern you have?
No. Well, no, not after the fact, because I don't think about them after the fact. It was really on the night in Minnesota, I went, holy shit. I don't I don't think about them after the fact. It's just sometimes it's striking when you're doing it.
I don't want to be asked that, like, where do your ideas come from? But as someone who watches a lot of true crime, I'm curious if you watch true crime, because I know some of the things that, like, some of your films have been tapped into that a little bit, or like flirted with that concept. But is that something that appeals to you, or do you prefer crime when it's just purely fictional?
I'm trying to think. No, I don't really watch much true crime stuff or read that. No. Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Old school detective comedies.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cleaner. That's certainly less, I will just say less grating on your psyche, personally. Is there any, like, trivia about the movie and the making that you want people to know about?
Let me think. Trivia. Well, we've already got Michael Gummer.
Bill Camp.
Bill Camp is in the movie. He's a great actor who some of you might know, and none of you will know who he was in the movie, I'm sure.
In Driveway Dolls, he was Curly, right?
Curly, the driveway guy, the hunk of lead at the center of the universe. In this movie, he's the kind of befuddled voice of the guy that drives through Wiener Place. You just have to get him, man.
Those costumes are so great, too. They're like a special brand of teenage humiliation.
Yeah, the ketchup and mustard colors, Peggy Schnitzer did the wardrobe. She outdid herself. Yeah,
it's really terrific. Did you guys have any notes on that, or do you just, is this going to be a thing, or just, I just hire new people?
Very good people. Oh my God. Okay, Driveway Dykes. You didn't ask about it, but there's a bellhop at the end of the movie, and he found this kind of blue tunic and a blue pillbox hat, and I was just in heaven. Also, why am I talking about that movie? I'm not promoting that one. But two pictures of Matt Damon on the Tallahassee Living magazine. He plays a kind of scummy senator. And do you remember? You saw it, right?
I saw, yeah.
Yeah.
I did the Q&A for that one too.
Oh yeah, of course. I see it before the Q&A. Also, that billboard of him and his children. Man, again, I was in habit. But yeah, the wardrobe and the haircuts can really do a lot for you.
They do, and that's I mean, like, sincerely, I think that's really terrific. And like, what for you is the importance of like setting Bakersfield up? Like, how did you want that to be depicted?
Oh, it's kind of part of the story that it's, you know, dirty old town, Shitsville, bad place, bleak place. That's kind of what the title sequence is supposed to establish.
Which you had a very big hand in.
Yeah, me and Trish shot most of it, half of it anyway, by ourselves, half of it with Ari Wagner, the DP, which that was great. I mean, me and Trish drove around Bakersfield and Lancaster and Palmdale, every shitty city we could find in southwestern California. With Trish driving and me hanging out the window shooting with a little digital camera. And I had not handled the camera literally since me and my brother were, you know, making movies as kids. And it's so, I don't know, man, it's so great. I mean, it's a technical process, and the remove is so, I don't know. The hands-on thing was great. And it didn't matter that I was terrible at it because it's supposed to have that kind of verite feeling.
Yeah, no, it has a real vibe to it. I like it. It feels like throwback, but not in a nostalgic way.
Good. Yeah. I mean, in our minds, it's kind of a 70s movie. I kind of touched on for us was John Huston's Fat City, which had a similar, actually, title scene, super titles, not these, you know, presumably found in the environment. But, you know, that's just such a great movie. Kind of the same that it's got a really good song, Chris Christopherson song, and it's about how shitty Stockton, California is, Stockton in Northern California. But it's the same shit, different part of the state.
Well, I think we have time for one more detail about the movie. Is there anything else you want to tell us about, be it the score or the cast, or any difficulties in making it?
No. I'm gonna sound like I sympathize. It's irritating to just work with good people, but it was actually wasn't that difficult to shoot. It was a short shoot for us. For me, 35 days is really fast. But nothing terrible by anecdote. I presume you mean something awful happening.
That could be something nice.
Yeah, but that's boring.
Nobody cares. This is New York. Nobody wants that.
People go on shows and say, you know, we all loved each other so much. And it's actually true, but who wants to hear that? No, nothing terrible happened. Even though I worked with children in that chaotic scene in the trailer, and a cat, which I swore I would never do again. Even that worked out pretty well.
After Inside Llewyn Davis, was that cat hard?
Oh my God, they're terrible. 2 movies are cast that. Lady Killers, you trained cats. There's no such thing as a trained cat. They do whatever they want. And the bird. And that was only like the 6th take.
That was real.
It wasn't a real bird. They don't let you do that.
Well, I do think that's our time. So yeah, not a real bird, but a great cat. Thank you so much.